So today I was going to talk a little bit about the Virgin Mary, but I found something as I was looking for through my sources to make the talk. I found something that was a little bit more interesting, and so I wanted to talk about that. But the Virgin Mary does lead into it, so I'll just say a couple things about it, about her. Um, Now, the Virgin Mary symbolizes the original state of things, the purity of our original state, the pure, the pure uh, state of mind before creation. And so, as I was, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of depth on. That's about as much depth as I'm going to go in on the Virgin Mary, but I came across this paragraph here from a book I always go to because I can never seem to get enough out of this book. So, since in all the great traditions, creation is always through a sacrifice of a sacrifice, the multiplicity of things is the one dismembered, that's capital one with a capital, the one dismembered and divided. By yet another sacrifice, the one is remembered. Do this in remembrance of me. For the original unity is restored when the sacrifice is repeated, because the repetition is a recollection of what was done in the beginning. Uh, and looking at the word anamnesis, look at a definition. Anamnesis, the remembering of things from a supposed previous existence, often used with reference to Platonic philosophy. So this is remembering something way back. So what we have is God is dismembered, then remembered. You can see a little play on words there. You know, a member is an arm or leg, and so God is divided and then remembered in the ritual, and you can you can see that also with the breaking of the bread and things like that. And also, Osiris was a dismembered god. His limbs were scattered um, by his nemesis and things like that. So the point of the talk I'm making today is the real reason for why we do the Eucharist. It's to symbolize this restoration of how things were originally before the fall. And as I was reading this, before I read this, I was reading something else that was totally unrelated. I just happened to pick up this and I found something very similar about. Let me see if I can find it. In the present form of this ritual, we have sought to restore this balance as it was meant from the beginning. So there's this topic of restoration, and then later on, I found this line about um, restoring the original unity, restoring the original unity when the sacrifice is repeated. Um, Now I'm doing an essay on Charles Leadbeater's book Science of the Sacraments, and in this book he's a clairvoyant and he sees According to him, the purpose of the Eucharist is to build this edifice which stores up uh, divine energy, and then if it's done right, the energy is distributed upon the surrounding town, district, whatever, and the congregants and the clergy are supposed to they all know what's going on, and they're all working together to now, I mean, there may be some truth to this, but it kind of seems like a spiritual bureaucracy a little bit, because he's he's doing this stuff for, you know, taking this energy and distributing it, almost like you give your tax money to the government and then they decide who gets it. uh, I mean, there's some truth to what he says, but I think the mass, the Eucharist, is for the individual, probably for the spiritually needy, the person who doesn't really understand, to come. They should be encouraged to come to the church, not just people who, spiritual elite, so that they can distribute this energy. I think the people should go and get it, receive it firsthand. Um, so I think, bottom line is, I think that the purpose of the Eucharist and other rituals is to restore the original balance, the original um, the original state, which connects us back to God. And I guess I'll leave it at that. It's probably best not to try to say too much. Um, Let me know if you agree, if you disagree. If you want to add anything, feel free.